Hello and welcome to LIFEcast with Being with Grace. We are ready to help you live in full expression. This is our fourth episode, and our first three episodes we were talking about retiring. But you know what? Retiring also leads into what we're doing now. Today we're talking about moving. And this is one of life's biggest transitions, and I can thank him for making me do it. I don't know, 12 times.
Well, we've been married over 30 years. We've moved 8 times.
So, it feels like more. But having said that, because especially, right, many times when one spouse is doing all of the moving because of jobs or whatever, and the other spouse is pulling their hair out, whichever one it is. But anyway, it is a very, very big decision and a big transition. So it doesn't matter whether you're downsizing, just relocating for a job, want to make a fresh start, or retired and moving into a new home. We're here today to talk about how to stay sane and grounded through that whole process, because it's emotional, it's spiritual, but it needs to be practical and doable without getting upset. So that you will be able to arrive at wherever your new home is with happiness and peace. So that's what we're talking about today.
Well, we've got some tips we've learned through moving. We want to share, and maybe it'll help you and make your move easier. And so we're going to share, 8 or 10 tips, however many number it is, to help you. So let's get started. First tip. You're going to if you've listened to us before, you get sick of us saying plan, but we always say plan. It helps. So start earlier than you might think you need to. Most of the time you can, sometimes you can't.
Okay. Wait. Stop. Here's the thing. Even before you get into the plan, before that, you need to take some kind of an inventory. You need to know what you have. It's very important.
We're going to get
very
to that.
important.
We're going to get to that. Don't hold your horses.
Okay, I'm just saying, before the plan, you better know what you got.
Well, what you got is part of the plan.
Okay.
So, create, and I'm not talking about taking a half hour, just a little moving timeline for some things you need to do, like book the movers early. We have been in various situations, and it's amazing how busy they get, and depends on the location, time of year. But when we moved here to this house, it was right before Thanksgiving. And when we tried to book the movers, back in August, and we finally found a good moving company that was local to where we lived in North Carolina, but sometimes they're booked. So plan ahead, just think about the move timeline. One of the first things you need to do is book a good moving company as early as you can, unless you're going to move locally and have 2 men in a truck or something like that. That's different. But for a significant move, interview some moving companies, get estimates,
and get references.
Get references,
Because a lot of people have a lot of good things on their website. A lot of people have a lot of good things when they come to visit you and talk to you. And then a lot of people have experiences where maybe they didn't actually do what they said they would do. True.
So another thing that kind of gets into the planning, really kind of tip number 2, is declutter. Declutter ruthlessly. And this could get to some interesting situations between the spouses, because some people like clutter and some people don't. But my point is, you don't want to move things, pay to move them, and then throw them out. That's kind of a waste of money. I used to have a guy that I worked with. He says, we're going to edit it and then delete it. So you can save money by decluttering. And part of decluttering is go room by room and visualize, because everybody, when you're going to move, you have pictures or where you're moving to. And now with the new technology, you can go online, they have estimate, they have the areas, dimensions, all of that. So take a look room by room and try to plan what furniture is going to fit or you want in the new place and what is not. Will you even go so far as to make little templates of the furniture, but that's not completely necessary.
Yes, I do. But let's get back. let's come back a little bit. Okay. Do you know? Okay, I'm going to speak to the women here. Do you know what's in your closet? Do you know what's in your kitchen? I mean, really know. Like if I said, go find that fork that your mother gave you 12 years ago, do you know where to find it? This is a key part of what's important to you. Everybody talks about decluttering. I get it. But sometimes we have things that we want to stay with us. So you have to know where those things are, why you want them, why you want to keep them. Because if you don't, it's very difficult to declutter. So you have to know what you have, why you have it, why you want to keep it, or why you don't need it. A lot of people, you go into your closet and they'll say, I haven't worn that blouse in 3 years. Go. However, I've done that and regretted it in the 4th year. So you have to really know what you have, why you have it, how much you like it, because every once in a while, there will be something that you will need that you didn't think you would. So I love decluttering. You need to declutter. But a lot of times I will declutter with stuff that's newer rather than stuff that's older, because the stuff that's older, I can't find anymore.
This is interesting because it gets into this psychological thing, like a lot of things you do in life when you have a wife or a husband or whatever. We have different personalities. Her definition of declutter is different from mine. Her definition of declutter is just toss a few of these things out. Mine is let's get rid of everything we don't need. And if we have to buy something new later, if we miss it, we'll buy it.
Well, I mean, not everybody can just go out and buy something again.
I'm talking about little things. I'm not talking about a car.
Okay.
I'm talking about little things. So anyway, when I first met her, she lived in New York City. She had a closet that you needed a shoehorn to get a dress out of. Now, she wasn't a large apartment, but it was just like it is in this house. I can't find a house that I can afford that's got a big enough closet for this one. You want to talk about declutter?
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the blouse. Okay. There was a blouse that I had. It was a white blouse. It had black trim. It had a little design on the side. It was getting a little old. Okay. So finally, in one of the moves, I decluttered and said, I'm gonna get rid of that blouse. I'll find a new one. I want you to know that I now have probably 4 blouses that have replaced that blouse, and none of them are as good as that blouse. So sometimes you hold on to something because then you replace it with more than you need. So now my decluttering is going to get rid of those 4 blouses because none of them really work.
See what I mean?
Anyway, the point that he's making, decluttering is good. Know what you have, why you want it, why you want to keep
especially
it,
around
and
furniture.
then throw things
Like
out.
furniture are large items because you don't want to pay. A lot of movers charge by the weight, and you don't want to move a lot of things and then end up them not fitting and you throw them out. So if you do a little planning ahead and looking at the new space, really thinking about it, it can really save you some money.
Definitely.
On the decluttering.
Definitely. Okay.
Now, when it comes to packing, some people like to pack a lot on their own. Some people like to let the movers do most of it. Both works. We tend to like to box up a lot of things, pack things, and let the movers move the boxes. But one of the keys, and this is another one of the keys with packing is make sure you label in some amount of detail what's in the box.
Right, because the movers will have a room
right.
on it.
You actually said right. This woman never labels. I go in the refrigerator. There are liquids in there in bottles that aren't what the bottle says it is, and I have no idea. So wonder I'm still alive. I have no idea what's in there. She doesn't label anything.
Okay, we're not talking about refrigerators. When we're
talking about labeling.
When we talk moving, I am very specific. I will say not only Christmas dishes, but these Christmas dishes. When you're moving, that label is extremely important. When you're in the refrigerator, I know what's in there. If he wants it, he can ask me what's in there.
What if you're not home? I could kill myself by drinking some of this. I don't even know what it is.
Labeling is very important, and as specifically as you possibly can. last year, like he said, this is our third Thanksgiving here. 3 years ago, for Thanksgiving, we were moving. Now, here's the thing. We actually downsized. So there were many, 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 many things that had to go. And I always decorate my house for Christmas by Thanksgiving, but that's me. But it brought up a very important thing. All of my things had to be switched out. So before we moved, I put all the Christmas things into place in the old house. Then when I boxed them, everything went into boxes and had the labels on them for the room that they were going to go in, so that when I got to the house here, everything was ready for decorating. So yes, labeling is extremely important, but it is most important to know what you have, why you have it, why you love it, and where you're going to put it and how you're going to use it, because otherwise your labeling will be chaotic.
When we moved into this house, she's talking about, this woman loves Christmas. I like Christmas too, but there are degrees. We were unpacking and putting up Christmas decorations before we moved the furniture in. I mean, and she did label that Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. So that was.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
The house looked great from the outside. We could hardly sleep on the inside for about a week.
Okay. Don't receive any of that. Okay. The point is.
Well, you did say labeling's important. That was the point.
Important. That's the point.
Do you ever put open first on a box that you might need first?
When I'm doing kitchen things, I do occasionally, because it has to be in the right place before the other things can go into place. So kitchen is important. And that's something. I don't know if you have it on your little list, but one of the things that we would do if we were in a local, and I say local, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, we would try and move many things ourselves before the movers. So we would pack our things. So in terms of open first, we would pack a lot of those things ourselves, and then we would move them ourselves, drive them to the new house and put them in place. Because the last thing you want to do is get the movers and you're all at the house, and now everything's in boxes and you can't cook in your kitchen. You can't do anything because none of your stuff is there. So if you have the possibility of being able to move some of the things ahead yourself, those open first boxes
it makes it a lot easier if you're able to do that.
They'll already be in place. And listen, things change in life. When I first was moving for any reason, originally I wanted the movers to box it, do it all themselves. I really didn't want to have any part in it. Now, during those times, I was working. I was still, in a career type situation, and that was just so much additional work. After I retired, because I retired more from the corporate world much earlier than Randy, and then started my own fitness business. But then I wanted to pack things myself and carry them myself. So it depends a little bit on what time of life you're in, what works best for you. So you need to know and understand that too, because it changes.
So, back to labeling, maybe you do some boxes open first that you're going to need when you first move in. It's always nice to have an essentials box of things you need right away, daily, medications, toiletries, couple of outfits, chargers, things like that. Because we've had a couple of instances where the moving truck got delayed and we didn't get anything for 3 or 4 days. So it's important to take a few things with you to exist until the movers get there. So that's another thing you can do. Essentials first box.
Right. I want to go back to your point, though, about furniture. And he was saying that I would create little diagrams. The very first move, he actually did a whole kit. You can buy them now. They have kits on pieces of furniture. They're like the little cutout things that you can organize your room. But I'll tell you what, even without that, I just use a pad and I use a ruler, and I know that 1 inch is 1 foot. And when we moved in this house, I had 3 alternate designs for our living room. to see which one would work and which pieces of furniture would go where. And in all three of those designs, I basically was using the same pieces of furniture. So yes, it's important to do pre-planning. So why? So you don't make yourself crazy, because the last thing you want to do is the mover says, where does this go? Most of us know the living room sofa is going in the living room, but if you don't want to have to rearrange it 3 times after they leave, it would be helpful to have your diagram and know where those things are going.
Okay, let's switch topics for just a second. Another thing, I never used to do this, but I do it like the last 2 or 3 moves, is electronics, TVs, and it used to be worse before all the Wi-Fi with all of the cables. But if you still have wires, take pictures of your connections and your electronics and how things are hooked up and where things go. It can save so much time, because most of the time, I threw the installation directions away, or I didn't have all that. It'd been hooked up for a few years. You don't remember. So I found that to be very useful. So take pictures of TVs, routers, audio equipment, cable connections, whatever you have, so you can more easily put things back together.
Talk about information and directions, that kind of thing. If you're leaving a house, it's nice to put those things in order for the people who are eventually going to move into your house. One of the best moves that we had, the previous owner had an actual 3x5 or 3-ring
Notebook.
binder.
Yeah, binder.
And he had every utility in phone numbers, right, all of that. He had
plumbers
who he
called,
and washing machine directions, oven, everything.
The manuals.
It was amazing. In a 3-ring binder.
He had 3-ring binders. It was amazing.
Well,
but nobody can't expect that.
No, but
that was phenomenal.
It's nice once you can get over yourself to leave things in a way that the people who do move into the house eventually will have so much easier time in getting used to, and say a little prayer that somebody's done it for you.
Okay, speaking of planning ahead, use up all the food and household supplies aren't quite as important. If they're cleaning supplies, you might need them, but any other household supplies specific to that house and food as early as you can, because the movers will not move that. And you don't want to, especially if it's a short-term move, you box up some things from the freezer, take to the new house. But most of them aren't that short-term, so it's going to spoil if it's in the freezer. So you need to start planning ahead to do something with the food before you move, so it won't be wasteful and it costs you quite a bit of money.
How about eating it?
Yeah, that works. You're gonna eat it all in one day?
I don't know. Maybe if I'm not on a meal plan, and it might be this is my time to get off my diet plan.
You've got to plan ahead to eat it.
Have a party. Invite people over. Yes. We all know we don't want to throw food away. I especially don't want to throw food away. I might put it in a box, and you won't know.
She might put it in an unlabeled bottle, and who knows? So.
Okay.
The other thing, the movers will move it, but you wouldn't want them to. If you have any valuable jewelry or certainly your documents, important household papers, we tend to take those with us. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and we always keep those in our possession and take those with us in case something, God forbid, should happen to the moving truck or whatever.
Oh my gosh, we could tell you stories about things that happened to a moving truck. Wait, I got to tell this story.
Yeah.
Okay, just one. So we were moving, and it was an important day, because the very next day we were going to a party, and we to fly out to New York. Okay, so
birthday party.
Yeah, so this mover had to be there on that day. I don't know, Thursday or something. I think we were leaving on Friday. So we were waiting and waiting. It's supposed to be there by 12. Here it is, 1 o'clock. They're not there yet. Finally get to speak to the driver. The van stalled out right at the entrance to our neighborhood.
was about over a mile, just a mile
within
away.
the entrance. Anyway, long story short, so he's always teasing me. He goes, okay, you have the connection with God. You better start saying your prayers. So I did. I came out in the
I
front
have a
yard.
connection with God too.
Well, at that
You're
time,
just
that's
a
what
little
you
bit.
told me. Anyway, so I'm starting to pray and praying. And then we get a phone call. And we didn't get a phone call. Then we see the truck. Okay, now how many miles was it from the gate to our
It's about
house?
a mile and a quarter.
A mile
That's
and a
all.
quarter. Okay,
But it
so
was this windy road.
we see the moving truck backing up into our driveway. He couldn't go forward.
Transmission was broken. He couldn't go forward, only in reverse.
Okay, so when he gets there, I said, how did you do this? He said, all of a sudden, I got this idea. It won't go forward, but it'll go backward. He said, I don't know. Something just told me. P.S. You know what God's other name is, right? Something. Anyway, they delivered it by driving backward all the way to our house.
It was amazing.
That was a miracle. Anyway, next point.
Okay. It's always nice if you can work it out, where you can prepare your new home before you move in. Like clean it or have somebody clean it. We clean it ourselves most of the time, but make sure it's clean. It's a lot easier to clean when there's no furniture in there, and you can really do a thorough cleaning. If you can change the locks, you're going to have to do that anyway. It's nice as soon as you can do that. If you do that, and it's really nice if you have the utilities set up or just transferred, and also the internet, so it's pretty much fully workable when you move in. Because it's a real pain to move in and then, having electricity or gas, and it takes a day or two to get that working. So that's back to the planning. If you plan on day 2 before you move in, you call these utilities and you get those kind of things working. So that's always nice.
I don't know, it's not on your list, but if you're alone, we have the two of us, and so we can bounce ideas, but if you're alone, please ask people to help you. That's a very good thing to do. We don't always have to do everything on our own. You might have a good friend and say, come on, come down, visit me for a week, let's move. And friends
Now
will
that
do
would
that.
be a really good friend.
That would be a really good friend. That would be a really good friend. That would be a really good friend. So, but I think that you have more on your list.
That's all the
Good.
tips.
Okay. Leaving a home is very emotional, especially if you have a lot of memories. I think it's very important, though, to understand that your memories come with you wherever you go. And so your house isn't necessarily everything that there is to memories. And so I think it's just really important to have a good attitude. I think even before anything else, really put it in your mind. This is a new life. This is a new opportunity. This is a fresh start. No matter what has happened and created the reason to
look
move.
towards all the positives and potential really good things about the move. There's always sad things about a move, but you can feel sad, etc., but don't dwell on that and try to look forward and make it. A lot of times our attitude means everything.
Everything. And this is going to be a new place to make new memories. So especially if it's a fresh start type of thing. But even with families and children, there's new places to have new memories. So try not to focus on the past, right? I mean, if you're driving, you need to look through the front of the car, not in the rear view mirror. You can't go backward. You're going forward. So it's important to have a good attitude about that. Right?
Yep.
Right.
Question?
So, yeah, we can take questions. Hey, Ellen, okay, just what we're talking about. Leaving her home after 28 years, how do you make peace with saying goodbye? You know what? I like to actually make it almost like a ritual. I will go through the rooms and remember things and actually say goodbye to that particular memory. Or if it's something that I really want to remember, I might take a picture and make a note with it, about this wonderful thing that happened in that house. But many times we already have those pictures of things that happened. And so I just think, listen, I think being prayerful is a very important part of it. And again, not looking back, there's only one person in the Bible that Jesus tells us not to be like. And do you know who that person is?
No.
That person was Lot's wife. Why? Because she looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. So you don't want to do that. You want to look forward and be happy, cherish your memories, cry happy tears, and know that everything wonderful that happened in this house, there's going to be more wonderful things happening in your new home.
Robert from Raleigh, we're considering a move to be closer to grandkids, but we're nervous about starting over socially. Any advice? Well, that reminds me of a story where a guy's walking down the road with his clothes on this pole on his back, and he sees some people, and they says, "Where are you going, sir?" He says, "Well, I'm moving to another town." And they said, "Why are you moving?" He said, "Well, the people in the last town weren't very friendly." So he says, "Well, what makes you think that people in the new town are going to be friendly?" I mean, so social, there's different ways. I think, again, attitude is very important. You can meet great people, have friends, have more friends wherever you go. And as far as meeting people, I don't think you should rush it. It's not going to happen overnight. I would say try to get involved in things you like to do, because if you do, other people are going to like to do those same things. We can generate friendships. And I think, you can meet really good people in church, very friendly, welcoming people, but just kind of take it easy, be yourself, and in a way kind of let people come to you, because they will if you're open and friendly. So
yeah, I think joining community groups, certainly I say find a good church home, but all those kinds of activities. But I actually am not good at doing that. We moved here, and I was very involved in just doing the stuff that I do all the time. 3 months later, we had a friend who we knew from another town who actually ended up moving here with us. Within 3 weeks, she had 3 different women's groups that we were going to join, places we were going to see and visit. I mean, so some people are much better at that than others, but yes, connect with groups. And you know what? Find it just one person in the neighborhood who you can ask questions about what's going on and what's available in the town. But I would say, don't be nervous. I mean, if that's the question, you're nervous about it, don't be nervous.
don't be fearful.
If you made friends before, you're going to make friends again. And now you have new interests with grandkids and all that. You'll find people who have new interests who match yours. So I would say, don't be nervous about it. Patricia in Nashville. I'm moving for the first time in 40 years after losing my husband. How do I handle the emotions? You know what? That's a very emotional thing. You need to feel those emotions. That's a hard thing. Allow yourself to feel them, and surround yourself with your family who can help you talk about it. So even if you're moving and you're not near family, they're just a telephone call away. But handling emotions that's part of life. That's part of everything we do. The most important thing is for you to handle your emotions, for your emotions not to handle you. So if you, in general, are living a life where you know you have emotions, you allow them to come, but you can put them in their place when it's necessary, then you will be able to do that in this situation as well. Personally, prayer is a very important part of my life. My prayer group is a very important part of my life. And we have been there. Our group has been there for other women who have lost their husbands after 40, 50, 30 years and have to set up new residences. My client is just doing that. She lost her husband just about just a year and a half ago, and she's just moving into now more of a retirement community. And unfortunately, I don't live near her anymore, but have other friends in the group who do, who have helped her, and we talk all the time. So you're going to have the emotions. Don't try and negate them. They're important. And like I said, you deal with them so that they're not dealing with you.
George, how can we simplify moving so it doesn't feel physically exhausting? Well, I think we've already covered a lot of that. Plan ahead, do all the things we talked about. Don't get overly stressed. If you plan ahead, it gives you more time. Try to arrange it where you can get in the new house ahead of time to do some things and just take it one step at a time. And also physically exhausting, you ask, maybe you let the movers do more than you do and you just be the director. And so I think doing all those things will make it less physically exhausting.
You know, having said all of this, and I feel like with all those 8 moves, I think I've gotten better every time. But, you know, you might have a meltdown at one point. I remember.
It's possible.
You think? I mean, I had done all the plans, things were going well, and then just one morning, I get up and I have 4 huge wardrobe
I
boxes
in the new house.
in the new house, and I just woke up and started crying. I was like, so anyway, but then got over it and moved on, got with the plan. But to not make it feel overwhelming, know what you have before you start, make your plan, pack room by room, put your labels on,
What we always
and
said.
go.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just
Right.
giving you a
Summarizing.
synopsis. Hello. And if you're still getting crazy, call us. We'll try to help. Okey doke. Oh, I second guess my decisions after big changes. How can I feel confident once the move is done? Wow. Don't
Well,
second guess yourself.
I think a lot of people second guess decisions, but you can go back and maybe, I don't want to say learn from that, but think about, if you can't, why are you second guessing it? Maybe you don't have as many friends, you're not as happy initially, but that takes time, and just realize, refocus on why you moved, what you're trying to accomplish, set those things in motion, like get involved in some activities or whatever you're second guessing, try to figure it out and then make it better at the new place.
Yeah.
But sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes they move and realize they shouldn't have moved, and that's a tough situation. So then you can either try to make the best of it, or maybe eventually one day plan to get back to where it's something you enjoyed more. So that's a tough one.
Well, I'm going back to Lot's wife. Don't look back. If you made the
Yeah.
decision and you do feel like maybe it was a mistake, well, maybe something told you that you needed to move. So yes, put on your big girl panties and move forward. I think so.
So I like to end with one thing that kind of, I've seen so much of it. I felt this way myself on moving. A lot of people want to move close to the grandkids, which is great. A lot of people are fortunate enough to live close by already. But I have heard from so many friends, and I've even done it myself, where, we're going to move. We're going to get this bigger house. We're going to set this house up where the grandkids will love it. Let's have a pool, and let's have a little play deal or a pool table or something my son likes to do or something my daughter likes. Let's set this house up really so they'll come and we'll have a great Ozzie and Harriet world. for Ozzie and Harriet, but a great, life of, I'm what's a new soap opera where everybody's hunky dory? I don't know, whatever.
Beats the heck out of me.
Her
I don't
father,
know.
so let's set it up. It'll just be great. All the family will come. Everybody will be happy. It'll be wonderful. That never happens. It's nobody's fault. Kids have their own life. They have the husband side of the family and the wife side of the family for holidays, but the kids get active and they don't really, with few exceptions, want to be that much around the grandkid. They have their own life. So people that I've had so many people go into that kind of situation, buy that kind of house, remodel for that kind of house, and then get so disappointed when the kids don't come often enough and end up selling it. Just something to think about.
Right. If they're not coming now, they're probably not going to come then, closer or not. So, I think there is that.
There we
But
go.
anyway, whatever it is, do it for you. Know what you want. Do it for you. And always look forward and say prayers.
Very good.